Janelle Pineda reading Mujer Malvada. To La Siwanaba, I sprout from your black waters, arms rooting to earth, bajo luna del lago Coatepeque. I am birthed from your memory, given a new skin and hide to brush and braid, ashes de Izalco dusting my hair. My hands, still my hands, marked by your myth. Calloused, rope burned, nails sharpened to blade. My face, still my face, goes missing sometimes, just like yours, Siwewet. My body, safe because you took yours back. Safe because you took theirs instead. About this poem. This poem is addressed to La Siwanaba, a mythic figure who appears across Central American mythologies as a demonic, vengeful woman with the face of a mare, who preys on evil men. Diasporic reclaimings of La Siwanaba recognize her as a survivor of violence, who was cursed by the rain god Tlaloc to a haunted existence. In this poem, I honor La Siwanaba, originally Siwewet, as a protector and dialogue with her as a broader symbol of Central American women's resistance against gendered violence.
In Part 1, the story of the Kimberly Crest Mansion in Redlands was told. Part 2 explores the Moray and Barton mansions. The Moray Mansion is located not far from Redlands Community Hospital. It was built in 1890 in the Queen Anne Victorian style for Redlands residents Sarah and David Moray. Sarah cultivated a citrus nursery, then sold it. The couple used the profits to build their mansion. David was a former shipbuilder and expert carpenter. Houses that are reportedly haunted often have tragic events associated with them. In 1901, Sarah Moray died in the mansion's blue room of a sudden illness. Her distraught husband, David, never lived in the house again. He moved south and took up residence in the Hotel del Coronado. He reportedly became an alcoholic and committed suicide in 1902. Hillside Memorial Park in Redlands, California, is the final resting place for David and Sarah Moray. Ghost hunters claim that Sarah's initials appear in unexpected places, especially in the ornate decorations. They also report of strange orbs, ghostly lights, and unexplained hot and cold spots in the house. Other alleged haunted areas include the grand staircase, music room, children's bedroom, library, kitchen, basement, and the blue room where Sarah Moray died. The 1952 MGM movie Talk About a Stranger featured the Moray Mansion. The film told the story of a young boy who takes an instant dislike to a strange new neighbor in town, accusing him of killing his dog. The Redlands Daily Facts featured this photo in July 1952. The Moray Mansion portrayed the stranger's home in the movie. The location shoot drew hundreds of spectators. Second bill to the African Queen, Talk About a Stranger, had its Redlands premiere on July 2, 1952 at the Fox Redlands Theater. Naturally, the Redlands angle was played up in the ad. The Moray Mansion set the scene for the film when it was used in the opening title sequence. In this 1957 book, the Moray Mansion was described as an extravaganza at Redlands in Southern California. Every detail, the strange tower and cupola, the shingles, the spindle work, and Chinese railing on the porch, show great inventiveness. That house on page 81 is what readers of The Gingerbread House call the Moray Mansion. The home was also known as America's favorite Victorian house. In July 1970, a summertime 1890 garden party was held at the Moray Mansion. Some 1,200 guests attended the gala and toured the mansion. A September 1972 newspaper article described the Moray Mansion as a house of dreams. A comic strip regularly depicted the Moray Mansion as a haunted house and home to Broomhilda the witch. When the Moray Mansion was up for sale in 1975, it rated a mention in the local newspaper. Today, the Moray Mansion is a private residence and not open to the public for tours. The current owners have not reported any ghostly activities. The Barton Mansion is located just north of the Assistencia Museum and Gardens in West Redlands. It's also referred to as the Barton House and the Barton Villa. It was built from 1866 to 1867 as a vernacular house. In the 1870s, it was renovated into the Greek Revival style. It then transitioned into the Second Empire style in 1893. The mansion was designed by and constructed for Dr. Benjamin Barton of San Bernardino. He had just closed his practice, and the residence was to be he and his wife Eliza's retirement home. The Barton Mansion of the 1880s is seen here with its tower and ornamental roof ironwork. It has since undergone extensive renovations. Today's Barton Mansion is minus those two distinctive features. It is considered to be the oldest standing residence in Redlands. Some link the Barton Mansion to a number of rumored tragedies, legends making it a prime candidate for a haunting. Perhaps because of its proximity to the Assistencia, some speculated that the mansion was built over Native American burial grounds, a sure recipe for upsetting restless spirits. Another legend claims that not long after moving into the mansion, Eliza Barton collapsed and passed away. It deeply affected Dr. Barton, and he became somewhat of a hermit in his own home. Unsubstantiated claims say that Dr. Barton turned to the occult to try and reconnect with his wife. But this scenario breaks down with a bit of research. Dr. Ben Barton passed away on New Year's Eve, 1898. Dr. Ben is buried next to his wife Sarah in San Bernardino's Mountain View Cemetery. A closer look at the monument reveals that Eliza passed away in 1920, after, not before, her husband. This inconsistency leads one to question whether legends of satanic rituals in the house have any credibility. The same can be said about gruesome reports of kidnapped local transients being used as sacrifices. In 1888, Dr. Ben and Eliza deeded the mansion and surrounding ranch to their daughter, Mary. Mary Barton was the last member of the family to live in the house before selling it in 1921 to Chicago businessman E.B. McCormick. From this point, the Barton Mansion story becomes a bit murky as its ownership passed through a number of individuals. Rumors about the house being used as a mental hospital, a nursing home for the terminally ill, and a jail are unsubstantiated. One thing is certain, the upkeep of the Barton Mansion began to slip. In August 1995, the San Bernardino Sun newspaper shared this to-do list of recommendations to preserve the old house. The list included repairs to the foundation, roof, porches, windows, woodwork, stairwell, plumbing, and wiring. Rodent infestation was also an issue. In 2001, paranormal explorers trespassed into the Barton mansion with a VHS video camera and shared this image. It purported to show a ghost holding a lantern in a hallway.
Cover my bag, all right? What the hell's that? That on the floor. Right there. Oh, shit!
Today, after extensive repairs, the Barton House is home to business offices. Its grounds can be rented to stage weddings, showers, birthdays, banquets, and other special events. So can anyone definitively say that these three Redlands mansions are haunted? To paraphrase an old proverb, hauntings are in the eye of the beholder.
Hey, it's Mike Gagan from The Dangers. I'm here at studio in Redlands, and Maria and I were doing some guitar overdubs, and these two gentlemen stopped by, and they're going to help me with a couple of things. This is Bonesy and Skinny, or is it Skinny and Bonesy? I can't remember. I never get you guys straight. But I'm glad you're doing the social distancing thing, for me at least, and you're wearing your mask, so that's cool. I appreciate you guys being here because I know it's real busy this time of year for you, especially. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing a danger song, and I want you to just play along with me, and then I want you also to say the words, "Hey, play Orange Blossom," when I give you the cue. Okay? So we're going to try this to see if it works. These guys are pretty good, so they should pick up on it pretty quick. So here we go. Ready? You guys are already playing. That's how ready you are. Okay. With the last band this evening that brought our own power. Hey, play Orange Blossom. That's late for this hour. Notes become fireflies, they spin through the tower. All over the searching is late counting hour. So that was pretty good. It was you were a little silent on the part, but I covered for you. It's something I'd always wanted to ask you guys. Mars Attacks, right? Jack Nicholson. Was he cool on the set, or was he sort of a prima donna?
There's one magical, haunted evening each year when all the scary creatures come out to prowl through every neighborhood. But here's the scariest monster of all. Ow, that hurts. Whoops, down she goes again. First, we need to turn back the clock and start this whole evening over again. One of the problems with this costume is that it's too long. You should always shorten any skirt, pants, slacks, or cape that is too long or floppy. It's usually easy to shorten brooms or round off the sharp points of pirate swords and other costume parts that can trip you or scratch you. Cardboard brooms and swords are usually safer than wooden ones. What about that color? What about this color? A white costume makes an unusual, different kind of witch. Do you remember how hard it was to see out through those little eye holes? Here's an even safer way. Just watch what you can do, with a little help from your parents and some scraps of cloth or old clothes from around home, and a few other odds and ends. Now our little witch has turned into a beautiful princess, and her new costume is much safer. The light will not only help you see where you're going in the dark, but it will also make it easier for others, including drivers, to see you.
What's your trick?
What you guys eat for breakfast?
What?
Ghost toasters. Where does Dracula keep his money?
Where?
In a blood bank.
Here, have some candy.
Tonight has been a magical night. We saw a scary monster changed into a beautiful, happy, and safe little princess. How about you? Will you follow the lead of the little princess and have a safe and super Halloween this year?
Happy Sunday night, friends. Cheers. Here's some mood-appropriate music by a very great artist from a very great album. Drag your shadows down the street. Was it you I was to meet?
welcome back to me, MYSHELF, and I. For our Halloween show, I wanted to point out a couple books. The first one by LIS Morton, who we've seen before with her anthology of ghost stories by women called Weird Women, is her book, Her History, Trick or Treat, The History of Halloween. And she puts together kind of debunking of some myths and then the exploration of the ancient Celtic notion of Samhain, this kind of time between summer and harvest before winter comes, that on a certain night that ends up being Halloween, there's an exchange between our world and the other world. There's passage, and it goes back as far as Roman times. But that's what's really wonderful about this book, is that it kind of takes the whole history of Halloween and how it's a lot of the misconceptions about it, but how it weaves its way from the old world into the new, from America, England, and back again, and from just even the history of bonfires and their significance and the celebration and kind of prankster kinds of things, up to the straight up trick-or-treat costumes of modern era, all the way up through Nightmare Before Christmas. So it covers a broad spectrum of the history of Halloween, and it's for folks who really get into Halloween. It's sort of cool to get a little more facts about it, but she's a great writer and keeps it, if not spooky, intriguing. It's an intriguing book, and I really recommend LIS Morton's Trick or Treat, A History of Halloween. My second pick is I Talked with a Zombie by Tom Weaver, who hails from Sleepy Hollow, New York, and is kind of a horror movie scholar, and in these books does a great job of interviewing folks who participate at many levels, directors, producers, actors, for some pretty cheesy B movies, and in his interviews has them look back into what it was like to participate in those films. Not all the folks went on to acting fame. Some do, but the point is just kind of zoom in on how it was to be in that film and where did it take them. For example, one of my favorite interviews there is with Ann Carter, who's the child actress in a really great Val Lewton production, The Curse of the Cat People. I think it was directed by Robert Wise. It was a follow-up to Cat People, which is a pretty successful B movie, and it really launched the career of Val Lewton as a producer. Simone dies. She's the cat and she's gone, but she shows up to see her daughter in the second film and visit with her. Is really a good movie. And in Ann Carter's place, she was really good as this child actress, and continued in the business, making other kinds of fare, not horror fare, but she was in a film with Humphrey Bogart or Katharine Hepburn. She was not a major star, and then she gets polio, and kind of drops out of film to take care of her kids, and ends up being a substitute teacher, and then teaching in a junior high. And so you follow the rest of her life through this interview, a positive look back at her film career, but particularly this film that still means a lot to her. A second actress maybe wasn't so famous is Tondra Quinn. She's doing something with her hair right there. She was in a movie called The Mesa of Lost Women, and it's truly a bad film. I have it. I've probably seen it twice, but very shyly put together in her recollection, meeting the director, who told her he was a great German, film director who emigrated to the United States to continue his grand work. Really was sort of a fraud, and the film was just a mess. But her stories about that time and how he was trying to impress her and how she eventually gets away from him is much more interesting than the film itself. So
I Walk with the Zombie is filled with these stories of cool people in B movies and how their lives went, and I find it just as enjoyable as reading a study about a Hitchcock film. These are almost like Hitchcock films in themselves, but I would recommend highly I Talked with a Zombie by Tom Weaver.
We're here at the train. At the train station. Where's the station?
We're going to go to the next station right now. And when we get off on the station, what are we going to do? Eat our...
Pizza.
Drink our...
I'm sad.
What are you sad? So we got you sad?
Ding ding. Ding ding. That's the station.
That'll be San Bernardino station, I think. And then we'll eat our pizza.
I need to sleep.
You need to sleep.
Wow.
San Bernardino Tippecanoe. All station stops are free. San Bernardino Tippecanoe.
shape I'm in. I can't say I ain't pretty and my legs are thin. But don't ask me what I think of you. I might not get the answer that you want me to. Well, oh well. Now when I talked to God, I knew he'd understand. He said, stick me and I'll be your guiding hand. But don't ask me what I think of you. I might not get the answer that you want me to. Yeah. Oh, well. horns, they were out of controllers.
To finish off the show, let's hear the performance of a CHRIS LEROY, Johnny Hickman song called Haunted, performed by Johnny, myself on bass, and on drums, Chad Villareal. Enjoy.
House. Since you left me here for dead, a dusty frame, an empty bed, a devil lies with me instead, and I've lived this lie somehow in this haunted house.